Hello, gentle viewers. This is Indian welcoming you to Marvel Champions with Tabletop Simulator. For those of you that haven't played it, Marvel Champions is I guess it's a deck builder, but there's not a lot of actual deck building that happens because, well, I mean, maybe this is just one of those things that I'll explain as we talk about the game more generally, but at its core, it is a card game where you and up to three other players are fighting against a particular villain from the Marvel Universe. Um, it is both surprisingly simple and surprisingly rich, and not just because of all of the wonderful expansions to the game, but because there is just ridiculously huge amounts of fan made content, which you can access over here using this particular mod. And as usual, I'll make sure to post a mod in the. I'll post a link in the description of the game. But at its heart, you are fighting a villain and trying to defeat the villain before they can either accomplish their scheme or they can defeat you. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. And we may end up playing two games of this in one episode. I'm not sure how long this first one will take. I've played it once with my wife before, and it was really good. I really quite enjoyed it, but we're also a ways away from really understanding things. We actually lost the first time we ever played it. Maybe I'll have better luck this time. Who knows? We're going to pick one player. So next I have to select a hero. Now, in the base game of Marvel Champions, you get 5 heroes. You get Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, Iron Man, Black Panther, and She-Hulk. There's also expansions, which add additional heroes or additional villains. And the 3 villains you can face in the standard game are Rhino, Claw, and Ultron. In terms of upgrade abilities, you can see they have Captain America, Miss Marvel, Thor, Black Widow, Doctor Strange, the Hulk, Spider-Woman, Hawkeye, and Ant-Man. Regarding other villains, we have 2 Green Goblins for some reason. Oh, there's actually 2 different schemes for him. Okay, well that explains it. We have Wrecking Crew, Crossbones, Absorbing Man, Taskmaster, Zola, and Red Skull. Red Skull is interesting because it adds a campaign element to the game, and depending on what you folks think about this, we might actually consider adding it to the future. We might decide to go ahead and play through a thing. I really love this table image. It's really, really pretty, and it's really well done. But I think we'll go ahead and turn it off just because it is kind of distracting. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is we have to pick our hero. And apparently I need to close this first. There we go. I am going to pick Iron Man for this first game. And then I can either pick it as a starter or we can pick it as completely constructed. Well, what's the difference? I hear you asking. If you pick Construct, it only selects the hero cards, and then you can pick the particular aspect that you'd like to use. And the game includes, base game includes 4 aspects, and then the basic cards that everybody gets. I'm just going to go ahead and use the starter deck, because I've never played as Iron Man before. I'm just going to go boop. And here is my Iron Man playmat, along with my 40 cards and all that good stuff. I wonder what's this 33 basic. Oh, I think you actually get to pick a certain number of cards from each set, maybe? I don't know. I haven't actually done much with the deck building portion of this game. I don't know the heroes well enough to know how I'd like to even build my deck. So the next thing we do is we're going to select the villain. And we're going to play against Rhino. I've never beaten him before. And we're again going to pick Standard. Expert makes it a bit more challenging. And that is the villain deck. So, that's actually all you have to do to set it up. Oh no, we do have to pick a module, don't we? Yeah. And what a modular does is it adds kind of a secondary threat to the game. Which gives you something else to deal with so that you're not just focusing all of your attention. If I check the rule book here super quickly, I'm just trying to remind myself what the recommended modular threat is for. I think it's Bomb Scare. I think that's one they recommend using with Rhino. Or maybe they don't actually. Maybe you don't actually play with modulars. Oh no, here it is. Yeah, right here. Bomb Scare. Alright. And then we're going to go boop. And now everything is where it's meant to be, and we can start thinking about the game. So, I need to get me... need to unlock this, just so I don't have to come all the way over here just to see the reference cards. Oh, you're probably actually meant to clone it, but oh well. Oh, and I need to make sure there's any other setup instructions for this particular one here. Okay, setup advance to stage 1B. Okay, so here we go. So Rhino's attacking a shield facility. He wants to break in and steal some vibranium so he can do a lot of really nasty things to people. There are two ways to lose the game. Either every hero gets knocked out, goes to 0 HP, or the scheme is maxed out. And here we can see in the top left-hand corner, we're going to go ahead and actually lock this in this current state, because we don't need to see the other side anymore. We need to keep him from getting 7 scheme, or alternately... And in addition, we have to keep ourselves alive. As Iron Man, I have 9 HP, and I have a hand size of 6. That's how many cards I get. Now, so how does the actual game work? It's actually quite simple. The first thing you do is you play cards from your hand, and also another distance to look at our hand. Then we drop to the hand size, and we ready all of our exhausted cards. I'm going to warn you in advance, I'm going to call it tapping. I played Magic the Gathering for a long time when I was in high school. I think I mentioned this in a comment or maybe on Twitter, but I played Magic when 6th edition came out. So I'm pretty far behind the times in terms of the modern Magic game. But I'm going to use words like tap instead of exhausted. So if I forget, please forgive me. But there's a reason to that. I also want to move this book out of the way. It's really helpful because it explains how the actual game works here. But let's talk about how the actual cards work, because it's the heart and soul of Marvel Champions. So in order to do that, I need to draw my opening hand. And as you can see here, I get 6 cards. Now, if I'm in Iron Man mode, I only get 1 card, but if I have tech upgrades, I can be more powerful. So I start with these cards, and I don't think these were shuffled. No, I don't think they were. Because none of those are special Iron Man cards. Let me shuffle them up, and I'm going to draw 6. That's better. And, okay, so Iron Man has the aggression deck. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So, every card in the game has two uses. Let's look at the Supersonic Punch as an example. In the top left, we can see it would cost me 2 energy of any kind to play the card. And once I do that, it does 4 damage to the enemy, or 8 if I have the aerial trait. Now, I believe, by default, Iron Man is not aerial. I will need some sort of upgrade or some sort of additional ability that gives me that potential. If you look in the bottom left corner of the card, you can see the little lightning bolt. That is one of the resources in the game. When playing cards, all resources are created equal, but there's certain reasons you might want a particular resource based on what the card says. I don't have any upgrades. Oh no, I do have an upgrade. I have my powered gauntlets. That's neat. Yeah, this isn't the best opening hand, but we'll live with it. You can, I believe, take a mulligan if you want to. Where you just go, yeah, I don't like this stuff. I can discard and then draw back up to my starting hand size. Let me be honest with you, because as I can see here, Iron Man is not a great choice if I don't have tech upgrades. I'm going to go ahead and take a couple of these cards and discard them. A Relentless Assault. There are no minions on the field yet. I'm going to discard you. Chase them down. Same thing. That is not a helpful card for me to have. I'm going to draw 2 more. Alright, this is better. So, allies. Allies can do other useful things. And help you fight your enemies. But you can only ever have 3 enemies on the field at one time. Or 3 allies on the field at one time. Tech's upgrades are permanent. But most other cards are one-time events. Like these. Once you play an event, it's gone until you play it again. So, we also got the special Genius card, which gives me 2 science resources, which means I can just use this card and then play any other card in my hand. Which is pretty great. And I just want to check the play mat and see what the different buttons do. I mean, I'm always the first player, because there's only one of me. But I have it now, I guess. Oh, it untaps everything and deals a face-down encounter card, and then discards the dealt encounter cards. So, what happens is every turn, the players go, and then the villain goes. And why did I lock that down? Because I need to flip it. And then it tells you what to do for the fill-in, and then you keep doing this until we either defeat the enemy or he defeats us. Now, one thing that's great about Marvel Champions, and we'll actually start playing here in just a second, but I want to explain this to you at home in case you decide to buy the game for yourself, or even play in a Tabletop Simulator, which is really great. You have the ability to play with basically any player count, but I believe it's recommended no more than 4, because it scales up. So, Rhino has 14 hit points because there's only one player, which is me. If there were 2 players, he'd have 28. If there were 3 players, he'd have 42, etc. He only gets 1 scheme a round, and he needs 7 to win, but if there are 2 players, he'd get 2 a round and 14, etc. This is what makes it such a great solo experience, is that things are more difficult if you have many players, but they're easier if you have fewer players. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and take my turn. Um, Now, I can exhaust Tony Stark to activate his ability. How do I actually exhaust a card? There's got to be a thing here that I do to exhaust a card. Like, how do I actually exhaust the card? Okay. Is there just like a multiple states, or how do I actually exhaust the card? What? I'm so confused right now. It basically says I can unexhaust all my cards, but doesn't tell me how to exhaust them in the first place. Okay. Player mats. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very weird. I don't get how I can unexhaust all of my cards if none of my cards are actually exhausted, unless it's just like I just changed the state, maybe. So let me test something here. If I do that and then I click ready. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I actually just do it using E. Got it. So, so every turn you can play cards, or you can activate any actions that you have access to. So here I can look at the top 3 cards of my deck, add one to my hand, and discard the others. Now, unlike other card games, the hand limit only comes into effect at the end of the game, at the end of the round. I believe that is accurate. Let me quickly check it out. I'm just looking to see when the hand limit is reinforced. Yeah, it's at the end of the phase, so I can have more than that. War Machine is an awfully expensive card, but it's also extremely powerful. Especially because I'm not going to want to be Iron Man if I can avoid it in the early stage of the game. Until I get some nice upgrades. So I guess the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play my Genius card. And I'm going to get some tech. I'm going to get me some powered gauntlets. And what this does is this lets me deal 1 damage every time I use it. I just tap the card and it deals damage. That's pretty great, all things considered. Any other cards I'd like to play? You know what, let me go ahead and use my Futurist ability. But if I do that, then I can't... Actually, I don't need to use him. He doesn't have to be exhausted because I'm not going to be fighting with him. Because I'm not going to change to Iron Man yet. So I'm going to go ahead and tap him. And then I get to draw the top 3 cards, and I get to keep one of them. What does this do? That could be very valuable. And I don't need a Supersonic Punch, so I'm going to discard that one. And I think I'll keep... Oh, that Repulsor Blast card is pretty powerful, actually. It seems like Iron Man's strategy is to cycle through the deck very, very quickly, which I appreciate. In fact, let's go ahead and use War Machine. Sorry, you're too expensive for right now. And we're going to play the Repulsor Blast. So, I deal 1 damage to the enemy. So you've already dealt 1 damage to Rhino. And then I discard the top 5 cards, and for each one that has an energy resource, I deal 2 more damage. Doesn't have one. Nope. Hey! And 1 more. Awesome. So we've already done some pretty significant damage to Rhino to start out the game, which is pretty great. Now, Rhino does have 2 forms. All villains have 2 forms. Some, I think, have more than 2, but most villains have 2. And in Rhino's case, his second form happens when he runs out of HP. So we have dealt Rhino a pretty convincing blow to start out the game. You can always change your form anytime you want to during the round before you end your turn, but I'm going to stay as Tony Stark. And I get to drop to my hand size and then ready all of my cards. And I get to draw 3 more. Ooh, the attack team is quite nice. Got that dumb Relentless Assault. Meh. You know what? Combat Training is really powerful. That's going to be a great card for us next turn. Alright. So we have actually finished our very first turn. And as we play through, it's going to go super buttery smooth. So, the next thing we do is we go to the villain's turn. And the first thing that happens every single turn is we get threat on the main scheme. And in this case, we add 1 per player. So there's now 1 threat on this scheme. That happens every turn regardless. And Rhino is real good at punching stuff with his attack value of 2. He ain't so good at scheming. He's pretty dumb. So that is a bit of good news. So, the next thing it's going to do is we're going to get a boost card, and it's going to scheme against us. So we're going to click... Oh, no, that's for the face-down encounter card. Boost comes first. Come up here, we're going to click Boost. And what we're going to do now is we're going to flip this card over, and we're going to pay attention to what's in the bottom right-hand card. Oof. That is not good. Now, the good news is, this doesn't actually trigger... Oh, wait. I don't know if that was shuffled. Let me put you back. And then we'll click Boost. Okay. So we go to the bottom right, and we see it's got 1 little red marker. This means he would normally just scheme me once, but he actually gets me twice. So you can see the scheme's starting to get out of hand already, and we're going to need to deal with that probably next turn. And what does the red axe do? Does that just discard the card, or... Oh, I see. So we're supposed to do this, and then it just discards the card. I got it. Makes sense. Okay. Now, we're going to deal an encounter card. And then the encounter card is going to change things, and we're going to click this nasty red X button. Oh no, it's the double yellow exclamation points, right? Yep. If you're playing with more than 1 player, each player gets their own encounter card. So I'm going to click this button, and it's going to tell me what the card is. Gang Up. When revealed alter ego, this card gains Surge. What does that mean? It means I actually get another one, because otherwise this doesn't actually apply. I'm in my alter ego, so we have to do another one. Stampede. This card gains Surge. Well, alright. Okay, we now have a villain. It's the Hydra Mercenary, and this minion is going to come and hang out over here. Now, this character is engaged with me, and in order for me to continue damaging Rhino, I've got to beat this jerk up. He's also going to get a chance to attack me. So that's not good. And then I would pass the first player token, but I don't need to do that, and we have a new round up. Okay. So. This is not a great start. To get this much scheme already, because there's not a lot of easy ways to thwart. Not for Iron Man in particular. Let me just say the artwork in this game is fantastic. I really think they did an excellent job. I do have this Relentless Assault. And if I use an aggression resource... Oh, it gains overkill. So I could Raffle Stomp this jerk, and then the damage would spill over to Rhino. That's very potent. But the thing is, the ability to get a permanent +1 to my attack is phenomenal. It's so good. And I really don't want to waste my only aggression card just for that. But I also don't want to tap Tony yet, because I have... Oh, no, wait. He unexhausts at the end of the turn, which means I can use his ability and then do other things. So I'm actually going to go ahead... And I'm going to go ahead and use his power. I'm going to draw 3 more cards. I'm going to discard 2 of them. It's my rocket boots. And then I can gain aerial. Okay, I actually want all 3 of these cards. Alright, discard energy and discard combat training. Knowing there's actually 2 in the deck makes me feel a little bit better, because it means I can use Relentless Assault if I want to. But I want me some rocket boots. So, see you later, TAC team. I now have a hand size of 3 when I'm Tony Stark. And I can gain the aerial trait whenever I want it, which means I can do a stupid amount of damage with my Supersonic Punch. Which is pretty fantastic, right? But I really want this Relentless Assault. I want this mercenary dead, and it's just the best way to do it. So let's do exactly that. I'm going to go ahead and play my combat training card and emergency, because I have a plan that I'll explain in a second. I'm going to play Relentless Assault. This is going to deal 5 damage to the minion. He's only got 3 HP, so he is defeated. And then 2 spill over to Rhino. So Rhino is certainly looking in pretty bad shape. I'm going to flip over to Iron Man. And then everything gets unexhausted. Wait. You know what? There's no reason not to go ahead and exhaust my rocket boots and my powered gauntlets and deal 3 damage to him. Oh no, I have to actually spend... Oh, I get a hit point. Neat. But, no, I actually have to spend a science resource, and I want to save my first aid, because I don't think I have any other way to heal. But I just gained a hit point. You know what? Screw it. YOLO, right? So that means it actually does 2 damage to Rhino. So we then unexhaust everything. And I get to drop to my hand size, which is currently 3. So I get 2 more cards. That's a nice card. Oh, that's quite nice. That's a very nice support card. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, support cards are permanent. Is there a card type? And then that's Appendix 3. Maybe it actually just says under each individual kind of thing here. Support. They enter in the back row and they're active until something makes it leave. So that's actually quite a powerful card for next turn. But it is now the villain's turn. So he automatically gains 1 threat, no matter what happens. Now, we have a choice. We can either choose to soak the damage or we can pick to defend. Now, here's the downside of defending. If you defend, I believe it exhausts your character. Here we go. No, those are basic powers. And here's the problem with that idea. I don't get to unexhaust until the end of my next turn then. And I definitely want to get this scheme under control, because otherwise it's going to spiral out of things. So I'm just going to eat whatever damage I take. So we're going to deal a boost card. And then we're going to discard it. And thankfully there was no boost here. So he's just going to punch me in the face for 2. And I go owie. And that does sound very Tony Stark, I know. But that's what's happening here. But I've been attacked. And now we get an encounter card. Oh dear, this attaches to Rhino, making him more powerful. This gives him +1 to his attack. Well, poop. I don't like that. And this means I have to spend 3 aggression resources to get rid of it, or he's just going to keep punching me harder and harder. Yikes. We might just ignore that, though, because I don't have as many cards to play with. Alright. I really want to play Pepper Potts. And... oh, it's only if I pay for an aggression card, and I don't have one. Poop. I don't have any science. Because here's what I can do. With my supersonic punch, I can actually knock out Rhino I can knock out his first form this turn. And then I can thwart to reduce some things. And I can play that just using... but I don't have any aggression cards. And I really like both of these cards. But I can't afford to go back into Tony Stark mode. I can't. So instead, I'm gonna do a Mega Punch. It's gonna do 4 damage. It's not gonna do the full 8. Oh, but then I could hit him with the Power Gauntlets too, right? Yeah, perfect. Okay. So I'm going to use Power of Aggression and Pepper Potts to play the Supersonic Punch. Oh, technically anything that's permanent goes in the back row here. This is going to do 4 damage to an enemy. And then I'm going to go ahead and activate my Powered Gauntlets. And he has been punched super hard in the face. What does the advance button do? Okay, it sets up the next phase. Perfect. We're halfway through. Now I believe when you do advance to the next phase, they still keep everything attached to them. But maybe it doesn't. Let me quickly check that out. Sorry. Starter decks, how to customize deck. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if you defeat the villain, if they keep anything attached to them. I think they do, actually. Here we go. That's from Hero. Player phase, player elimination. Set on defeat, maybe. Villain defeat. There we go. I'm just looking to see if they keep anything that's attached when they change to their new form. Attachments carry over. Okay, well, that's alright. So we're going to click Advance. And now we face his final form, so to speak. He's a bit tougher. He punches a whole lot harder. And we automatically reveal the side scheme, which is Breakin' and Taken. Here it is. And then I shuffle the encounter deck so I had to look through it. So what this is going to do is we're going to place a threat here. Oh, it's very nice. There we go. And what this means is until we get rid of this... Oh no, it starts out as 2, doesn't it? Yeah, I think there's... Let me double check how side schemes work. Sorry, friends. Hopefully this won't take too much longer to play. I think the side scheme in the bottom left is how many it starts with, and then it gets 1 extra. Enemy scheme. Side scheme icons. Here we go. So it starts with a certain amount of threat, and then it gains 1 extra per player. Okay. So basically, as long as this card is in effect, they're going to be drawing... He's going to draw 2 encounter cards instead of just 1. So this is obviously something we need to deal with. But my turn is not yet done. We're going to get to Thwarton. And we're going to remove 2 scheme from Rhino. That's what the THW means. It had to be done. Now, we are in a bit of danger here. But I'm hoping, really hoping, that I can't get punched into oblivion, but we'll see. I drop to my hand size, which again is 3. Oh, that's quite nice. I could definitely use my Mark V helmet, for sure. But my turn is over, because I've redrawn my hand, so I can't use any extra abilities. Alright. Let's unexhaust everything. Villain's got a villain, right? So first, threat on the main scheme. You are going to attack me. So we're going to boost and discard. And thankfully, this does no... Oh, no, there is a boost. It's 2. So he just punched me for 5 damage. No, 6 damage because of his stupid... Ouch. Mega owie. Oh dear. And then we get 2 encounter cards, and we have to deal with both of them. Stampede. Rhino attacks me. We just got beat. Because he gets to do 4 more damage. I only have 2. And I have nothing I can do to stop or prevent him from hurting me. Iron Man has been defeated by Rhino. Man. I severely underestimated how dangerous he would be if I wasn't in hero form. Oof. But that's how quickly this game can go. I did say we would play twice. Let's do it. Oh, there's a reset button, isn't there? No. I could just reload it from Tabletop Simulator. Let's angrily flip. Because Rhino got the better of us. And then I'm going to pick... There's a button to just reset, isn't there? Options, games... Nope, I just have to reload the game. That's fine. Where is it? Marvel Champions. There we go. I'm just going to reload the game. Alright, so things didn't go so well for Iron Man against Rhino. So, we're going to pick a new hero, and I'm going to pick Black Panther. I want She-Hulk. You know what? I can't decide. I would like a coin, please. There we go. Give me 1 US quarter. Alright. Heads, I play as She-Hulk. Tails, I play as Black Panther. I'm just hitting the F button. She-Hulk it is. And again, I'm just going to use a standard starter deck. Here she is. And then I need to pick a villain. We'll pick Rhino again. Definitely not expert mode. And again, we'll add Bomb Scare as the modular scheme. Alright. And then let me unlock my reference card just so I can have it in front of me. Alright, my hand size as Jennifer Walters is 6. Did I do it again? Did I not shuffle? I don't think I shuffled. Alright, you know what we're going to do? We're going to come over here. I'm going to go shuffle, shuffle, and then I'm going to go shuffle, 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 shuffle. There we go. Now I can draw 6 cards with confidence. Alright. Now, she's actually also chosen the aggression starter deck, which isn't a terrible choice, right? There's certainly worse choices. It also recommends playing with the justice option, and I kind of like that one too, especially for her. But we're going to stick with aggression because it's just what we're at. Any mulligan we want to take here? Now, Jennifer Walters is really good at punching stuff when she is in Hulk form, but she's really good at stopping schemes when she's in Jennifer Walters form. And making that even more powerful would be pretty gosh darn awesome. I'm going to discard the tack team and the uppercut. Do I want to discard uppercut? Yeah, I do. So I can draw 2 more cards. And I get the Hulk, and I get Emergency. Now, Hulk is very interesting. Hulk can do a lot of damage, and he's very cheap. And I think one of the things I need to do is I need to be more aggressive early on. With Iron Man, I didn't want to stay as Iron Man for too long because I didn't want the hand limit problem. And you know, she does have a hand limit of only 4. So that's something to consider. But I think being mega aggressive against Rhino is going to pay dividends in the long run. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play Emergency for a resource. I'm going to activate the Superhuman Law Division. This basically lets me remove 2 threat from a scheme anytime I want, as long as I'm in my alter ego. Now, my other question is, do I play combat training to make my attack better? +4 attack is no joke, my friends. Or do I summon the Hulk? I really kind of like having Hulk. He can't defend, he can only attack, but he can do a ton of damage. So I'm gonna forego the passive buff for now. I'm gonna discard Relentless Assault and chase him down, and we're gonna get the Hulk out here. Alright. So, step 1. I'm going to switch to She-Hulk, and I instantly do 2 damage just by showing up. Like, Rhino's like, holy fuck, it's She-Hulk. I'm going to deal 3 damage, and I'm going to tag in the Hulk, too. So together we do 6 damage. And then I draw and discard the top card, and depending on what that says, something else will happen. I got the aggression, so I deal 2 more damage to him. Yeah, this has been a very good first turn. We have done some very serious damage to this guy. However, I do need to put 1 damage counter on Hulk. Once he hits 5, I have to discard him. Alright. Bring it on, Rhino the jerk. Always gets 1 threat. Can't forget that. Shuffle, shuffle. Now we're going to boost. And we got lucky. No damage. Good times. Then we get an encounter card. We flip it, and it's the Hydra Bomber. When revealed, I either take 2 damage or place 1 threat on the main scheme. I've got 15 HP. Oh, I didn't fill my hand. Sorry. I got 15 HP. I can easily take a couple of points of damage. And then I'm not going to click the discard button because he's permanent until he's been defeated. Alright. Good turn. Very good turn. Back to me. Now, I do have the ability to play Hellcat. But she's also very expensive. And I think there's better things I can do with my time. And I got combat training. Which is aggression. Okay, first of all, playing Power of Aggression to play combat training. And I'm going to give myself a +1 to attack. In the actual game, there's actually a little thing. Oh no, there's one right here. No, it's acceleration. There's actually a +1 to attack, which is fine. But yeah, so now for the rest of the game, I actually do 4 damage every time I punch with her. Before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and attack again with She-Hulk. We'll go ahead and lock that. This instantly reduces Rhino to 0. We advance to the new phase. And I gotta find me the break it and take inside scheme. And then I shuffle the deck. You're gonna get a a threat tracker, and you're gonna get a total of 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, but I still haven't finished my turn yet because I've also got Hulk, and I'm gonna go Hulk smash. It'll be great. Make sure you stay locked on that, please. And that's going to do 3 damage to Rhino. 1, 2, 3. No, this guy doesn't have the guard. I can ignore him. And that's exactly what I'm going to do for right now. He's not a threat to me. And if I beat Rhino one more time, I win the game. So it just makes good sense, in my opinion, to focus my energy on that. But I do have to draw and discard a card. And it's a science resource. And science says, time for Hulk to leave. Oh, well. You know what? We had fun while it lasted. And I don't really care about that one. So I'm not going to worry about that. Alright. Unexhausted. Villain phase. He always gets his scheme. But he actually gets... I need to quickly check something about minions. I'm looking to see if their scheme lets them add threat at the very beginning. So they activate after it, so it doesn't automatically add more threat. I was just making sure. So he adds his threat because he's a jerk. Then he's going to boost, and he will get some help because his buddy's going to attack too. What do we got, Boosty Boy? Oh dear, okay. Well, that's 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 1 for Hydra is 6 HP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yikes. And now I deal 2 encounter cards. And this attaches to Rhino. So when he attacks, it gains overkill if he kills an ally. And it gives him 3 more attack? Oh, shit. Oh, no. Okay. Please don't get one that lets him attack again. Okay, I get the confused status. So the next time I thwart, I have to discard the card. You know what? That's not the end of the world. Oh, sorry. That's meant to be discarded. There you go. Oh, that's not great. Right now, Rhino can take me out in one turn. Which is extremely bad. And it's only good for one attack. But we're going to have to deal with some shit. Alright. You know, I'm going to get rid of this counter. It's just not necessary anymore. Isn't there a way I can delete a card? Oh, because it's... There we go. Just delete that, please. I'll just know that I have a +1 because of this. So, normally, I would get super duper aggressive because that's kind of this play, and I didn't refill my hand again. What the heck, Abby? I'm going to switch... First things first, I'm going to switch over to Jennifer Walters. I cannot afford to fight you this turn. I just can't. Because if I get punched one more time by super tough Rhino, it's going to hurt real bad. What are my options here? So I could get Mockingbird, who lets me stun an enemy, which would be pretty terrific. I can ready my hero anytime I want. That's pretty cool. Hellcat is really good at thwarting schemes. And if I defeat an enemy, I remove 2 threat from a scheme. None of these cards are that great, in my opinion. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to exhaust this resource. And I need to play a science resource. So I'm going to play Chase Them Down. And this is going to remove 2 threat from any scheme. I'm going to remove it from this one. And then I get to prevent threat from being handled. I'm going to go ahead and use Jennifer Walters to heal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I use the recovery feature, and she's in better shape. And this means that they'll only scheme next turn. And I get to draw 3 more cards. Ooh, what is all this wonderful stuff? Oh, nice. I can really fuck them up. Oh, that's good stuff. And this gives me a skill. I can take a damage to draw a card. That's pretty handy, too. I like that. So we're going to untap both of those. This does not count as actually thwarting. So this status still exists. Which is fine. We add a threat to the main scheme. Because we always do. There's an argument to trying to actually remove this. But no, wait. I'm just going to use... This isn't even exhaust me. It's an interrupt. I just say, I object. And that threat doesn't get placed. Alright. Now, we're going to do a boost to see how the scheming goes. And it doesn't. Then I get, everyone schemes / attacks. Both Rhino schemes and his little jerk scheme, so that adds 2 more. Scheme's getting a little bit out of hand, but I needed a turn to recover. And now we're going to do encounter number 1. Explosion. Bomb scare isn't in play, so we just draw a new card. I'm in my alter ego, so it gains surge. Oh dear, he gets another charge. Can that really stack? Can you have two of the same attachment? That seems pretty ridiculous if you can. Yeah, he gets to charge twice. Oh dear. Which now gives him an attack of 9. That's not great. Why is the crowd control side scheme in here? Wait, what? Did I add crowd control instead of bomb scare? Oh, I guess I did. I never added a side scheme, so the game just added crowd control for me. Oh boy. And until this is taken care of, I cannot remove threat from the main scheme. Oh boy. And you get 2. I guess that makes sense. I'm actually glad the game did that, because I did not add a modular scheme. Okay. So here's my issue, and it's a very, very large issue. Rhino is super scary right now. He can do 9 damage without any boost. He could take me out in a single turn. I need to do something to cause a significant... I either need an ally to help defend me. I need something to really help me out. I don't want to be taking damage right now. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and play Strength. I'm definitely convinced I'm going to do that this turn. So I'm going to either bring in Mockingbird or Hellcat. Mockingbird stun someone. Yes, please. Gamma Slam is a bit too rich for my blood right now. Mockingbird. Oh no, villain, you've been stunned. What a tragedy. And this is great news, because what it means is the next time he would attack me, he can. Which means I can, if I wish, and I think I do wish, get a lot done this turn. Alright, first of all, I'm really tired of him getting 2 bloody encounters. Now, if I resolve a scheme, do I remove it from the game, or does it go in the discard pile? Okay. So it gets discarded, which means it could happen again. But you know what? I'm going to start. I am going to tap Mockingbird. I'm going to give her 1 damage. And she is going to... Wait, what? Oh no, wait, am I confused here? Oh no, it's the character does it. Not if my ally does it. We're going to set this to 0. And breaking and taken is over. So I no longer have to worry about his stupid bullshit of getting 2 encounters every turn. Which is really great. Now, I can't do anything about the main scheme yet, but I'm not worried about that. Because we're going to get violent. I deal 2 damage to an enemy, and I'm going to go ahead and kill off the Hydro Bomber. I don't like you. I wouldn't mind keeping Focused Rage, actually. Or possibly using it later on. I haven't decided yet. And then I'm gonna go tap, and you're getting a bit of the punchy punch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. Good times. And I get to draw one card because of She-Hulk. I can only ever use this card once. So I'm going to need to use that to play some other card next turn. Alright, adding the threat. Rhino's going to normally attack me. Let's go and get the boost out of the way. Yeah, it can be infinite, but poor Rhino was stunned. So actually take no damage. Now, this is interesting. No, would attack. So it actually doesn't count as an attack. So, c'est la vie. And then I get my 1 encounter card now. Oh dear. Well, it was bound to happen, right? It was bound to happen. It's Stampede time. I can absorb 2 of the damage, but to be quite frank, I don't want to do that. I can ask my ally to step in front of it, but then he would just trample my ally and hurt me anyway, and I don't want to sacrifice her that easily. So I'm going to say, you know what? Take your ridiculous amount of damage. That's 9 damage, and I'm stunned. Yikes. So I'm going to have to deal with that. For sure. And then that goes away. Back to my phase. Alright. First of all, back to Jennifer Walters. I mean, is there any doubt that I would just recover this turn? Next time this character with thwarter scheme. You know, I wonder, does that count for allies? Because if it does, I have to re-add a scheme, but it also means I've lost the confused state. Status cards. Hero or ally. Okay, so then I lose the confused status, but there's one more scheme here. I got to get that under control for sure. But at least the confused status is gone. Alright, do I have a science resource in my hand? I sure don't. Oh no. So here's the thing. I can thwart with Mockingbird, but I can't remove threat from the main scheme because of this scheme. You know what? No, I can't. I can prevent him from adding threat, but he's also going to get to scheme. And I can't remove... Well, Hellcat's really good at thwarting. Maybe that's my trick. Yes, that is what I'm going to do. 1, 2, 3. Hi, Hellcat. Please save us. You're gonna take a damage. No, sorry, that's inefficient. you're going to take a damage. And you're going to remove 2 from crowd control so that I can now thwart the main scheme again. Delete. Mockingbird, you're going to thwart like that. Now, we're still very much in danger of being... No, actually, we're actually not going to be in as bad a shape as I thought. Okay. I draw 6 cards. Looks like I've got some pretty powerful cards to consider next turn. And now it is the villain's turn. Oh, so I have to ready everybody. Alright, you villainy villain. I'm going to use I Object, which will stop threat from being added to the scheme. But he is going to scheme against me anyway, and he gets a possible boost. Based on the boost he gets, we might have lost. It's really gonna... We're gonna have to hope that we get lucky. Fuck. Well... Damn it. Out-schemed by Rhino. That's just insulting. But there we have it, friends. We have been defeated by Rhino. Again. Man. I gotta say, this is a great solo game. I really enjoy it. But it is really hard to win this solo just because of the boosts. And yeah, even spending a bunch of effort getting rid of threat. I think I let... Well, here's the thing, though. I could have beaten him next turn with 1 card. I almost had it this time, but alas, we are again defeated. Stupid Rhino. Do let me know if you want to see more of this in the future. I'm definitely up to playing it again. Maybe next time I'll even win. But until next time, this has been Avindian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.